Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Rush in the building, holding it down with the Labudo Network, promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you need armed guards or unarmed guards, call up my business line. And you know what I mean? We gonna get this chicken together. The bigger the contract, the more money we make together. You heard? Today I got a special guest in the building. He go by the name Obsidian. Now I mean, one of the fathers of the Black Manosphere. And yo, Obsidian, let the people know who you are, give them the MO, and let them know what you about. You heard?
Yeah, my name is Mumia Obsidian Ali. I am considered one of the three kings of the Black Manosphere that was founded in 2015. Um, I'm also a chief brand officer and chief innovations officer for the Black Manosphere Conclave that was founded in 2021, an annual gathering of Black men from around the world united in the pursuit of excellence in all things. We offer STEM training as well as lifestyle and personal development across multiple domains. And like I said, we've been doing this now for 5 years. We're going to be meeting for our sixth conclave next year in September in Las Vegas. I'm author of 4 books, including my latest, The Gospel of St. Kevin Samuels. This came out, special limited conclave edition that came out that was only for conclave members. And I have some other copies on hand for personal sale and autographing by me if anybody's interested in that. That pretty much outlines everything there with me. I saw Chaotic up there. Is he there?
What's up? What's up, Obsidian? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Long time no hear.
Long time no see, man. Salute to you. Salute to you.
Right. So my first question to you, Obsidian, man, I want to know like what triggered you and O'Shea to start this movement called the Black Manosphere. Talk to me, man.
O'Shea and I, as well as Angry Man, so it was the three of us that all kind of started out at the same time. And we didn't know each other personally. We all started out independently, but we all came to know each other through the magic of the internet. And we kind of formed a sort of loose confederation, if you will, that will become the Black Manosphere. That phrase, Angry Man deserves the credit for it. He's the one that coined the phrase, the Black Manosphere, to differentiate it from, the broader manosphere. To be frank, white manosphere. I got my start in the white manosphere in the fall of 2009. I started out as a blogger and a writer. And I ended up writing for pretty much every manosphere website that you can think of, Return of Kings, which is Rush's old website, the Spearhead in Malafide, Just for Guys, the Good Men Project, and O'Shea's magazine, web magazine, called the Negro Manosphere, which is now defunct. So that's how that all got off the ground and got started. And from day one, we were like public enemy number one. There was a hit list that was assembled about a year after we got started in the spring of 2016 that outlined a listing of Black male content creators on YouTube that were considered to be fomenting hate speech toward Black women. And there was a change.org petition wedded with that to have us deplatformed. So that's one of the Black female, well, not just Black, it's a female. It's not just a Black female. It's a female aggression tactic to exclude or banish or cancel or deplatform somebody. That's one of the tactics of female aggression. And by the way, this is my personal opinion. This is per the insights of, among others, New York University's Jonathan Haidt, Jean Twenge. I want to say she's at UC Santa Barbara, or Santa Cruz. It's one of the two. Don't quote me on that, but Jean Twenge. These are very reputable researchers that have studied female aggression and how it plays itself out. And that's one of the tactics. So I was number one on the list. This is really shocking to me. I was number one on the list. Literally public enemy number one. And Tommy Sotomayor interestingly enough, was number 2. And you would think that it was the other way around because Tommy Sotomayor, I got to give a lot of credit to him. He played a big role in my own influencing and development. I draw from many influences, and he's one of them. And I had watched him circa 2012, 2013, 2014. So I watched him for like 2 or 3 years before I even threw my hat into the ring in 2015. So I would have thought, and he was riding high back then on YouTube. He was riding high at the time. So I would think that he would be number 1. I'd be somewhere, number 25th or something. But no, I was number 1. And I had just gotten started a year earlier, and I was already number 1 on the list. So I've been infamous now. So people call me the notorious MOA. I've been notorious now for almost a decade. So,
Man, I totally understand what you're talking about because I've been watching all you guys for many years now, and you guys get a lot of hate, man. And my follow-up question to you is why you think males and females have a strong disdain for this kind of movement called the Black Manosphere? Talk to me.
it's very simple because Black American society is, you hear some people, and I know you've heard it, I know Chaos, you've heard it. You might hear some Black people, some Black women and Black men will say words to the effect of, patriarchy in Black America. Black men have patriarchal beliefs, or Black men are trying to ape white patriarchy. Words and sentiment to that effect. That's erroneous. There has never been a patriarchy in Black America. Black America is a de facto, and I want to be careful with this. It is because there are critics on the other side who will try to play the semantic word games. So if they get wind of this, I'm looking directly into the camera. Listen carefully. Black America is a de facto matriarchy. Now, what do I mean by that? W.E.B. Du Bois and E. Franklin Frazier in the Philadelphia Negro and then the Negro family in the United States makes clear that owing to slavery and in the grips of the Jim Crow at the time. So we're looking at 1899 with the Philadelphia Negro Du Bois, 1939 with the Negro family in the United States with Frazier, that Black American culture and society has always been matriarchal, small m. Because my critics, that is to say, critics of the Black Manosphere will say, well, these guys think that, it's just an inversion of patriarchy and that is women running things from the top on down. That's not what I'm saying. Often, we have organizations, individuals, etc., at all levels of Black American life, from public policy on down to the street level, who are Black male, but who foment the interests of Black women and girls over Black men and boys. And we can roll out the evidence over the course of this conversation to bear out what I'm saying. Black America has never been a patriarchy. So patriarchy defined as a hierarchical, organized effort, organizational structure, wherein every level of that organizational structure is staffed by Black men, created by Black men, ran by Black men, administrated by Black men, and funded by Black men. That has been rare in Black American life. That's very rare. The vast majority of Black men do not make their money from other Black men. They make their money from either Black women or white people. It's a rare brother who makes his daily bread from other brothers. If you look at other ethnic groups, ethnic men in the United States, Jewish men with the Diamond District, Indian men, that is to say, South Asian Indian men with the motel chains, 40 billion in revenue. The East Asian groups, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, etc., the Italians and the Irish. These are examples of other ethnic groups of men, both legal and illegal, who have established patriarchies where it is top down the males of their particular group doing business and commerce, setting policy and procedure among themselves, with which the women of those groups are subordinate to, often in compulsory fashion. Consider this, my brothers. Black American women have a weight problem. It is something that is well documented by every governmental and research organization you can think of, from the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia, to Boston University's Black Women's Health Study, and everywhere in between. All sources agree. Black women have a serious weight problem, 60% clinically obese. Did you know that in Japan, the female obesity rate is 4.3%? And not only is that true, it's also true that Japanese women, when they clock in, they also have to weigh in literally. It's mandatory weigh-ins daily. That is a patriarchy. Mind you, this is after Japan was bombed back to the Stone Age in World War II. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the world's first and to date only use of the atomic nuclear bomb, occurred to bring about the end of World War II in the Pacific Front in Japan. And yet, to this day, Japanese men impose a weight requirement on their women. When they clock in, they got to weigh in. That's imposed. That's compulsory. That is a patriarchy. Black men do not have any such control to compel black women to do anything. They can't compel black women not to lose weight. They can't compel black women not to wear Wookiee weeds. They can't compel black women not to talk greasy. They can't compel black women not to cheat. That in patriarchal societies, the men impose compulsory standards on the women. Now you could debate whether that's right or wrong. I'm not here to debate whether they should do it, shouldn't do it. Is it right? Is it wrong? I'm just telling you what it is. Black America is not a patriarchy. So when you have brothers like myself, Tommy Sotomayor, and others making the case that black men have legitimate grievances, interests, anxieties, fears, aspirations, desires, we are upsetting the established de facto matriarchal order of Black American society, which was put in place by whites. Black men have been systematically kept out of the great American capitalistic enterprise, because without enterprise, there is no patriarchy. You look at every organization on planet Earth of men. Since a lot of black men love organized crime, let's start there. The American Mafia, patriarchy. The Russian mob, patriarchy. The Yakuza, that's the Japanese mafia, patriarchy. The Taliban, literally the government of Afghanistan now, patriarchy. The Islamic State, patriarchy. Boko Haram, patriarchy. Al-Qaeda, patriarchy. Even more benign states that aren't criminal networks like the Mexican and Colombian cartels, patriarchy. Even in societies that we're not talking about criminal syndicates or global terrorist networks, but just governments like the Islamic government of Islamic Republic of Iran, patriarchy. The royal government of Saudi Arabia, patriarchy. The secular Islamic government of Turkey, patriarchy. Every society that has a top-down hierarchical structure of men is patriarchal. That does not exist in Black America. So what the situation is with myself and my cohorts, Brother Labuto, is we are countercultural. We do not center Black women's issues or priorities as central. We instead prioritize black men's issues as central. We center black men and put black women on the periphery. We are the exact opposite of the way things are done in black American life, where black women's concerns are at the center and black men are marginalized. That is the reason why we have so much pushback, because we are counter-cultural in black American life. Black American life is de facto matriarchal. The black manosphere is de facto patriarchal. That's the reason why.
Man, I totally agree with you on that, man. And this going to lead me to this next question right now. Like, why do you think within our demographic, that within our social construct, why is it that the female has more of a social presence than the man? Like, it seems like they kind of call the shots within our community. Talk to them.
Well, again, black American society from day one has always been matriarchal. Again, E. Franklin Frazier talks about this in 1939. He's one of black America's great sociologists. He's on par with W.E.B. Du Bois, who, now to be sure, W.E.B. Du Bois isn't necessarily making the case that I am. He's saying that it owes to racism. But either way you look at it, it's undeniable that black women have always taken center stage in black American life, because black men have been prevented from executing organizational, what I call big P patriarchy, systemic, or small p patriarchy. That is to say, on the individual or clan level, not K, C, clan level. That is to say, neighborhood or community level. Very few black men are patriarchs, either in a big P sense or a small P sense. Very few in American life. And that's not by accident, that's by design. Every attempt that has been made by the black man to create a top-down patriarchy has been undermined by the United States government. Don't believe me? Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. Black Wall Street, to wit. The Nation of Islam in the 1960s and 70s, to wit. It is a matter of documented fact that the CIA was attempting to undermine and drive a wedge between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. Now, to be sure, Elijah Muhammad did have a major scandal. Historical estimates place his siring of children with, if not underage, at the very least significantly younger young black women who was in his employ as secretaries, somewhere between 13 and 21 children. Without question, that was a hell of a scandal. But let's compare and contrast to one of the most venerable black institutions ever known in the history of black America, the black church. The argument has been made that the black church is a patriarchal organization that holds black women underfoot. Bunk. Why? Because black women make up 70 to 80% of the congregation of the black church. They are the number one consumers of the black church in terms of spending power. Okay, so that is not a patriarchy. The black church has figureheads. The pastors and the top deacons are figureheads, the face on black matriarchal power. How do we know this is true? Do black pastors put black male interest at the center of their sermons on Sunday? Do they?
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Black male interests, black male desires, black male priorities, black male standards, black male requirements. Do they do that?
No, they don't.
I mean, it's a very simple litmus test that we can apply here.
They don't.
They prioritize black female interests, black female desires, black female priorities, black female standards, black female requirements. They speak to black female fears, black female anxieties, black female aspirations, black female hopes, just like everybody else in black America does. Therefore, the black church cannot be a patriarchal institution. It has never been a patriarchal institution because patriarchies are organizational groups that are hierarchical in nature, that are owned, operated, funded, organized, administrated at every level, from the CEO to the mail boy, men. And the black church has never been that. The black church is a male face on black female power. That's what it is. It's proxy. And that's the reason why I say, when me and my cohorts in the Black Manosphere talk about these issues, I make it clear that when I say that Black America is a de facto, not de jure, but de facto matriarchy, it must be understood, because a lot of people will say, well, black men still run everything at the top. You have to understand something. Who are they running it on behalf for? Are they running it in behalf of black men, or are they running it in behalf of black women? No, they're running it in behalf of black women. They are ruling by proxy. The black women are ruling the black men by proxy. Let me give you.
If the black church was centralized, like the Catholic Church, right? You know, the Baptist Church isn't. There's no centralized hierarchy at all in the Baptist, and most blacks are Baptist. Do you think that the Black Baptist Church needs to have some sort of centralization?
Well, absolutely it does. But in order for that to happen, there has to be a hostile takeover by black men who are going to go in and retake the black church, retake the black church in terms of congregation size, retake the black church in terms of funding, retake the black church in terms of setting forth policy and procedure at every operational level. That's what would have to happen. You have to retake the ship.
So that would mean that black men would also need to have other institutions like the Catholic Church, so philanthropic organizations, hospitals, schools that give the church itself strength, right? So it's very complex. But do you think that we can do it, or black men can do it?
I think most black men are black female identified.
Yeah.
There's this argument among some on social media. Some black women, some black men, that will go something like this. If a black woman is friendly to black male desires, interests, points of view, worldview, and so on, they will be regarded as a pick-me, as a mammy, as a mule, as a suck-up, a cat's paw, etc. Some of these people will use the phrase black male identified.
Yeah.
You probably heard that. Now, I disagree. I would argue that those black women are the exceptions that prove the rule, because the vast majority of black women and black men are black female identified. Let me give you some evidence. I'll give you the proof. I just celebrated my 57th earlier this week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I cannot remember a time when I have not heard that black women outpace black men in education in my entire adult life.
Yep.
We're looking at the better part of 4 decades. Black women outpace black men educationally. But in a patriarchy, boys are prioritized. Boys' education and training takes precedence over girls' education and training.
Yeah, because in the patriarchy, a woman is pretty much supposed to be domestic. Correct. And that really should. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Yeah.
So that right there, that piece of evidence that we all can see, that, and most people listening right now would agree with, tells you that there's no such thing as a patriarchy in Black America. Black dads are the main boosters for black girls being educated. But see, they don't. There's that. And we know that's true. But you got to take it a step further. Being educated and trained over black boys. And how do we know that's true? Look at the numbers with black boys in education. Did you know that in the major black precincts in Black America, Philadelphia, Newark, New York, the DMV area, Baltimore, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Chicago, did you know that in no major black precinct, in none, that the black male literacy rate was higher than about 20%?
I believe it.
In the 3rd grade.
Yep.
None. I think one of the worst black boy literacy rates is in Detroit, unsurprisingly. That is proof. And who runs the public school districts in the black precincts? Is it black men or is it black women?
Unfortunately, it's black women.
That's one of the few institutions where there is almost, not always, but almost a top-down type of matriarchy in that sense, where black women actually run stuff and whatnot.
Every damn administrator, every goddamn counselor, every damn principal.
But in many other instances,
yeah,
black men are the face of black female power. Let me give you another example. The black love machine.
Yeah.
What is the black love machine? The black love machine is the black love industry, where you see a lot of gurus, a lot of influencers, a lot of personalities that cater to black women and their dating issues, dating woes, desires, priorities, etc. I've studied the black love machine extensively. I talk about it in this book, the book of Obsidian, the ladies edition. I talk about it extensively in this book. I also talk about it extensively in the very first book, the book of Obsidian. We call it the Black Book, a manual for the 21st century Black American gentleman. The black love machine is almost to a man male. It's very rare to find a black woman with a major platform that has a black female audience talking about black love issues. They exist, but they're rare. All the big names are black men. Derek Jackson, black man. Steve Harvey, black man. Michael Mason, black man. Ace Metaphor, black man. Stefan Speaks, black man. I mean, we can just go on down the list. And let me say something else. When is the last time you heard a black love guru put at the center black male desire, interests, standards, requirements? When's the last time you saw that?
The last time I saw it was in 1991 with Shahrazad Ali.
A black woman.
That was the last time when a black woman put the black man first. It talked about what the black man should, his desire.
And that predated the internet by about
5 years.
20 years. Her first book came out in the late 1980s. So
did it come out in the late 80s? I think it did come out in the late 80s. Yeah.
Yes. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman came out circa 1989. So we're looking at 35, 36 years ago. So that came out at least several decades before the internet.
Blackberry gave you a shout out, man. Salute to you, Blackberry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So black male desire itself is not prioritized. Black female desire is prioritized. Black female standards are prioritized. Black female requirements are prioritized. Kevin Samuels,
rest in peace.
Somebody in the chat room asking about would a family of his family get royalties or what have you for the book. This is the only book that has been sanctioned by the Kevin Samuels estate. The only one. Okay. There are books written about Kevin Samuels. If you go up on Amazon, you'll see books written about Kevin Samuels. This is the only one that is officially sanctioned by his estate. So that should answer the question right there. By the way, you can't buy this on Amazon. If you notice, you don't see any barcode or anything like that. This is because it's a special Conclave edition that was created for Conclave Brothers, and I happen to have some copies left over so people can buy them if they want them. If you want them, I'll let you know how to get your copy. As you can see, looks like a Bible. So there you go. It's the only book that was officially sanctioned by the Kevin Samuels estate. So there you go.
Okay.
Now, getting back to my diatribe.
Go ahead.
So another piece of evidence that Black America is not MOT, not a patriarchy, is, like I said, black male desire. Black male desire is not only not centered, it's vilified.
Yep.
If you're a black man and you would prefer a lighter skinned black woman to a darker skinned black woman, you're a colorist.
That is true.
And you would prefer a black woman that's slimmer than chunkier, you're fat shaming. If you're a black man and you would prefer a black woman that's more domesticated and doesn't put as much
You're a
emphasis
male chauvinist or something.
and her education,
I'm a PhD.
You can't handle a strong black woman, and you
Was that your soundboard?
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to dim her success. If you're a black man and you would like to expect a little bit of a what, you've been watching too much online porn and all the rest. You're a misogynist. See, any standard. If you're a black man and you prefer a black woman that's, dare I say it, submissive, you're a slave driver, 12 years a slave, queen, a kunta kinte, beloved, etc. See, any standard that black men have is immediately called into question.
Yeah.
Immediately. It's immediately seen as suspect. Black women can have any standards.
Yep.
They could be as ridiculous. They could be as delusional. Doesn't matter. She has a right to those standards, and there will be those who will fight to the death for her to have those standards. But if a brother has even modest standards, there's a problem. That's more evidence that Black America cannot be a patriarchy. It is a de facto matriarchy.
Why do you believe that the black man does? Well, in this society, there's this belief that the black man should not have any criteria. Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from the idea that out of slavery, again, E. Franklin Frazier, Negro Family in the United States, 1939.
Familiar with that book? Oh yeah. I got a female in the back. Do you don't mind if a female comes
Absolutely
on?
not.
Okay.
I welcome it.
Okay.
Black America is a matriarchy. So that we're clear, I'm not saying top down everything is ran by black women. I'm saying that the interests of black women and girls are put at the center of the black communal discourse over and above black male and boys' interests. And we see the evidence of that. I mean, the evidence abounds of that. And we can go in all kinds of different directions with this. My brother's keeper, Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
President of the United States and leader of the free world, cut off at the knees by black feminists, led by Kimberly Crenshaw. Kimberly Crenshaw also cut off another brother at the knees, Minister Louis Farrakhan, circa 1995, the Million Man March. Do your research. She led the charge against that.
Republic Room, we have the great Obsidian on the channel today. Rush is hosting. Hopefully you have a mop in your hand and your hands are wrinkled from washing dishes, ma'am. What say you, ma'am, about what Obsidian's been saying so far? Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Rush. Hello, Obsidian. CT, thanks. And no, my hands are they're cramping from having started IVs all day, and then I'll be cooking probably in about an hour. Good. Okay, so I wanted to say this when it comes to patriarchy and matriarchy. I think, again, I've said this before, these men have gotten this all wrong and they continue to. So it's, but I'll try to go ahead and put it back into perspective. Most of the major institutions, whether that be academics, medicine, religion, banking, legal, are all, controlled or run by mostly men. It would be patriarchal. I'm not even saying that's not a problem. What I'm finding is that black men, you say that, Obsidian, you said this, that there's nothing black male focused or black male centric. Actually, I disagree. I would say that black men have set in place decades, probably, centuries ago, a culture that has focused on basically your desires only. And your desires being that it hadn't been led with, let's say, with building, focusing on family, focusing on marriage. It's dwindled into what it is now. And then you still complain and blame the women for where it is now. So I would say when I look at the culture, and I mean, it's easy to say something about rap, but you can look at marriage stats, which is a pretty much a low number. I think it's like 36%. They say, this is your culture, and what you're getting just what you put into your culture. So you'll have the women being I guess, hypersexual, or focus highly on career because they have to. Because when men have set up something and cultivated an environment where the women can be more feminine, thinner, or whatever you say that Black women are severely lacking, you haven't put into that. It's kind of like putting in a deposit and you get back something. You're not. You stated that the church is basically, I mean, I've seen most of these Black men hustling people. That's just, to me, the Black community is a big hustle. But if the women didn't go to church, then they'd be called, harlots and heathens. But that they do, and they're kind of hyper focused on church and trying to look for some type of spirituality, some guidance, then that's a problem too. I just find that there's nothing that most of these Black women who still deal with Black men, who what they do is just not, it's never going to be good enough. Also, when it comes to, go ahead, I'm sorry, because I had more, but go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm just curious. Do you deal with a Black man, madam?
No.
Well, do you deal with a Martian man or a Klingon man or?
No.
Thank you, Kev. Says, I love white women. Give me 1 second. Rush, if you want to read it. Lena with the $2 super chat. Oh my God, Obsidian is still relevant. Oh my God, why? My ears. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Lena.
Oh, that's huge. Well, I mean, ChatGPT is your friend. I don't use ChatGPT myself. I use Grok. But ChatGPT is your friend. All you have to do is ask him why I'm still relevant, my dear, and he'll tell you. Ask him why. Madam, to go back to you, well, if indeed you have a non-Black husband or gentleman in your life, I'm curious why you're so interested in the machinations, comings and goings of the community. I'm just curious.
Well, I'm still a Black woman, and I know even that, I don't know why we're still asking that question. Because I can be. So, I mean, I'm a Black woman, and that's all needs to be said about that. But also, you mentioned that Black women are mad whenever a Black man has standards. I dare say Black men have higher standards than Black women. I've always said Black women have the lowest standards when it comes to dealing with Black men, and I think that that's been raised and reared in Black women for years. It's like a social engineering of sorts. That Black women actually have higher standards when they, when they do go out. But with Black men, it's like they're used to hearing he was stripped of power. He has it hard, the Black man. And you're doing it too by saying, we don't have this, we don't have a patriarchy, and the Black man's desires are never put first. You have to, it's like you can't be given anything. You just have to earn that. And the right person will find that and will see that in you. Now, also, when you talk about, I think the Black woman with weight and for Black, whatever other things you said that some Black women aren't meeting. But then when a Black woman talks about money, because again, it's kind of like, let's say yin and yang. To a man's pocketbook will be, I mean, that's his power. A woman's body is hers. But when Black women have standards, there's going to be something wrong with her. There's something wrong with having that. And I think that that's still how the Black communities operate. I'm still surprised you're able to get away with these talking points after all these years of Obsidian.
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. So let's walk it through. Has Oprah Winfrey ever focused on Black men's standards in the mate?
Oprah Winfrey doesn't have to do that. Why aren't Black men? Black men just need to do that. Oprah doesn't owe you that either. And I think Oprah put lots of Black men through college.
Adam, it's a very simple yes or no question. So the answer is no.
The answer is yes.
Madam. Has Essence magazine, founded by Black men in the early 1970s, I remind you, has Essence magazine ever focused on the desires, standards, and requirements of Black men?
I don't know that I really don't read Essence magazine. And which issue are you talking about, Obsidian? Because I know, I mean, again, you're using magazines.
That's fair.
Obsidian. Yeah, you're using magazines.
Madam.
I'm sure King magazine did, though, didn't it? King magazine.
Madam. You don't read Essence. That's fine. I'm not saying that you have to read Essence. I'm just asking some simple questions. Does Steve Harvey, a name you're probably familiar with, has he ever centered black male desires, interests, and standards and requirements in a relationship on his shows, on his platforms, in his books? Has he ever done that?
Well, as a patriarch, Steve Harvey did give black men advice on what they need to do as far as getting manhood advice. So,
Madam, I did not ask you that question.
Center your own self. Yes, he did. His book, the book that he copied, actually stole the title even from the black woman. I'm answering you. If Obsidian, allow me to answer. Yes, Steve Harvey has done that. He sure has.
Had black women on his shows who have run out long laundry lists of requirements. There is no black male equivalent. Period. Period. Nowhere in Black American society will you see a major media figure that deals with black love issues, specifically focusing on what black men want. And that's my point.
I think that's the whole entire culture anyway on what black men want. If black women wanted more and higher, the black community would look a whole lot differently.
Thank you so much, sophisticated jerk. Go ahead, guys.
You agree it's true?
I didn't agree that was true.
You don't agree it's true?
I don't agree that that's true. I'm saying that you have a culture that looks the way it does because black men have not operated in manhood like every other man has to. Obsidian.
I want to be clear. You don't agree that none of the major voices in the black love scene have ever focused specifically on black male desire. You don't agree with that?
Black men's desires should be about making money and building up yourselves. So in your love desire, listen, your love desires will come when you complete those other things.
Madam,
are you looking for a community to focus on your desires?
Your personal commentary is irrelevant to the facts.
Actually, it's not.
Your personal commentary, your feelings, how you feel about it, and all the rest of it.
No, actually, that's what you're doing, Obsidian. It's what you feel about it. I'm giving you. This is no emotion that I'm bringing. I'm saying that there are standards. Just meet the standards.
About black women, how I feel about myself, how I feel about Chinese people is irrelevant. I'm looking at the facts, madam. The facts bear out what I'm saying. The facts bear me out.
But you have no facts. You basically just have an opinion. You're saying that the black community is a matriarchy. I've said no, that's not true. That's not. It's not true. It's not a matriarchy because you have to define the black Obsidian, the black community. Okay, go ahead.
My sources, madam. You have not cited your sources.
What source do you have? You use E. Franklin Frazier. Yes, and. Yeah, okay, but let me tell you what a matriarchy is.
Are you familiar?
Yes, I'm familiar. But you this is how you all tried to break down even the Moynihan report, which you failed at because if you really read it, black men wouldn't be utilizing that one bit.
Thing about the Moynihan report.
Chaotic truth. May I please describe what let's say what matrifocal is, which is what I think the black community is.
What does that have to do with my statement, madam?
Well, it does. If you said it was a matriarchy, so I was gonna.
I said a de facto.
I just want to interject. Yeah, but it's not even de facto because it's not a matriarchy.
Madam, I explained exactly what I meant.
But I'm going to explain what I want in case the audience doesn't know. I just wanted to explain what
Daniel Patrick Moynihan, madam. I cited.
Well, no, but because he copied E. Franklin Frazier too with some of what
W.E.B.
in his report.
I cited W.E.B. Du Bois and I cited E. Franklin Frazier. I cited two major black sociologists. Two.
And the black community still isn't a matriarchy. Just because a woman is raising children in a home by herself, let's say she's widowed or she never had a husband, does not a matriarchy make. It's not a matriarchy.
I said
because that woman still has to depend on and rely on systems run by men.
I said nothing about it. Moreover, I said that black men are often black female identified. Let me give you some evidence. Last year, in the presidential elections of 2024, 78% of black men turned out in support of Kamala Harris. That is the largest share of that's the largest share of male voters on the Democrat Party side. They lost ground with Hispanics, they lost ground with white males, but they continue to have a near 80% support rate for Kamala Harris. That's a fact.
Thank you so much. Them Leo says Obsidian, she hates black men. It's a waste of time. I don't think Republic Room hates black men. Thank you so much, Sophisticated Drake. Go ahead, Republic Room. Go ahead.
It's always about emotion, and that's another thing I wrote down. I was going to make this point before he even said it. It's always going to come down to who you hate or who you don't like, and it's always a black man. She just hates the black man. So, but when it comes to that voting block, I know it's not going to be anytime soon that black people won't be expected to vote for the Democrat Party and being on the liberal plantation. So that's a given. Black people don't even. It's not that it was about Kamala. It was basically that it was about black people have been raised for years and years to hate Republicans. They've been seeing the Republicans as racist because black people refuse to go, dig in a book or look around them. So that's pretty simply put. Now, when it comes to patriarchy again, Obsidian, you realize it's kind of like people wanting to have, and maybe this is how society's set up. I mean, in your own family, you can be whatever you want to be, but that doesn't mean that on the outside it'll be that. So all of us are underneath structures and hierarchies. We all do. But what I see that black men have been trying to, I guess maybe trying to shame black women into, like, let us lead, give us this. You see that they're putting the black woman in front of us, and this was done on purpose. I just find that there's no other men who can say that and hold their faces high, and show their faces. But this has been rhetoric from black people for a long time, and especially from black men, that you're owed something. No one owes you anything. You have to go out and get it. And then the people who see you, they'll fall in line anyway, and they'll be supportive and cooperative. But you're not going to get anywhere with, or you have gotten somewhere, because this is kind of money making when black men are still doing this. But that's my opinion on that.
Well, I like to respond, and then we can move on to some other panelists here. I'm glad, Miss Republic Tea Room, that you made the parting shot you did, because it goes back to redoubts to my major point. Black men have been kept out and prevented by law, custom, and at the point of a gun from participating in the great capitalistic enterprise to such an extent that today venture capital funding to black male startups, black male-led startups, is only 2%. In the year 2025, black men were locked out of the Gilded Age. Black men were locked out of the boom after World War II, and black men were locked out of the .com era. And here we are in the era of AI, and black men only have 8% and working in STEM, less than 5% engineers, and firms in Black America led by black men get only 2% of venture capital funding. Compare and contrast to what black women get from Goldman Sachs, the United States federal government, numerous other nonprofit, private public partnerships, etc. So this is baked in the cake in Black America. Black men have been deliberately undermined and undercut. This is something that Du Bois, Frazier, and many other reputable scholars who came along long before the Black Manosphere, the Red Pill, Andrew Tate, or Kevin Samuels did, that was talking about these things. And what I find interesting about many black women, my brother Rush, is that black women expect black men to perform on the same or greater levels of white men, despite the historical realities at work here. Despite the fact that black men were enslaved for centuries, black men had black codes and Jim Crow put against them. Black men had bombs dropped on them. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, had bombs dropped on them, dog sicked on them, burning crosses, the Klan, night riders. domestic terrorist organizations hung from the tree with a rope, etc., etc., etc. Yet and still, black women expect black men to, with no funding, no capital funding, no access to capital, no training, or anything else, compete on the same level or better with white men. This is yet another example of
that happened to black women as well. This was not just. It's like, I mean,
madam, I'll let
that.
you. Madam, I'll let you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll let you finish, madam. I mean, come on. You know, see, this is another example of what I mean. Black female voices.
I mean, when you said bombs were dropping on black men, like, and only the black men this happened to. Again, it's the victimhood, Obsidian.
Please,
it's the victimhood
here. Rush, can we impose some order here? Can we do that?
I don't know if Rush can hear you. He might be frozen, but yeah, Republic Room.
I apologize. You're right, CT. Thank you.
Let him, go ahead, Obsidian. Go ahead, sir.
In Black American discourse, black males' voices are not centered at all. Black females' voices are centered. This is true in the black church. This is true within larger black popular discourse. This is definitely true within the black love discourse. This is true within the black academic discourse. There are no black men's studies departments. There are black women's studies departments, black gender study departments. There are no black men's studies departments. This is the course of things in Black American society. And many black women really want black men to be quiet. You want to know the real problem that a lot of black women have with black men like myself, Tommy Sotomayor, and others? They have a problem with us getting microphones. Do you know that there is now black women? I just read on my TikTok where I'm trending there. I just read on my TikTok today a number of ladies calling for tariffs on microphones to prevent black men from being able to afford microphones with which to have their say in the public square. Black women believe that stoicism is synonymous with silence. And they're going to have to get used to the fact that black men now have voices. We do not require the permission or approval of the Black Vagina Vision Media. We do not require the permission or approval of the Black Borg Female Hive Mind or the Black Female Identified Communita with which to have our say in the public square. They'll just have to live with the scandal.
Republic?
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on. Let Republic respond. Yep, give me a second.
I got two responses. Hey, JP, I would say this. Perhaps it's not the black woman keeping you underfoot. Maybe it's this white man and these other men, these other male groups, these other family structures. Because perhaps what they see, because you do have a microphone, and black men have not been, you've not been like told not to speak. Black men have always had a microphone and a sounding board to get off their rants about black women and what the world has done to them. I will say that perhaps maybe when other men see men talking about what's owed to them, and then they are, looking at a woman as getting something that they're not. Maybe something primal in these other men says that, man, these guys can't really be trusted. Perhaps it's that. So it's not black women keeping you underfoot. And let me just end with this too. I'm waiting to see this, whatever these benefits black women are getting, truly benefit them, because it seems that it really hasn't. So anyway.
Well, madam, I mean, black women are the handmaidens to white supremacy. There is a well-documented history of black women willingly laying down with the colonizer and the slave master and the slave driver, both here in the United States, throughout the Caribbean, in the Afro-Latin diaspora, and as well on the African continent, where black women willingly laid down with the colonizer, willingly laid down with the slave master. We have mucho evidence in support of that. And we still see Negro bedwenchery in our midst right now. So the excellent book, The Dating Divide, makes clear, came out in 2021, published by the University of California Press, made the point that black women seek out white men on online dating apps more than any other racial group of men, including black men. It's just that white men don't respond to them at the same rate, but they reach out to them more than any other male group, including black men. That is a fact. The Dating Divide 2021. It's an excellent book. I strongly urge that you go and check it out and read it. Excellent read. Deals with all of this. So not just Black America, my brother Chaos and my brother Rush, but also throughout the Black diaspora, like I said, Afro-Latin diaspora, as well as on the continent of Africa itself, has a long history of Negro bedwitchery, which extends back easily four centuries and is alive and well right now, as we can see.
Republic.
Yeah, and hey there, Mooncakes. That's how she entered. CT, thank you. Let me say this. Obsidian, it seems like you're still onto these same, still talking points. Nothing's changed. I remember you from the days of when I would listen to Stefan Molyneux, and you quoted something to me. You put a link in the chat, in the message board with this study about the Black woman being the least desirable. I mean, we know you're gonna that's your bag. We know you're gonna go there. But if these Black women have been seeking out other men, maybe it's because what they do see in those men is masculinity. And so it's normal for a woman to look at a man and see, hey, well, this is what this looks like, it's what it should feel like. And if Black women are, I don't see how this has benefited Black women, because to me, Black women overwhelmingly choose and prefer Black men. So I'm just not seeing what you're talking about. And we also have to look at these sample sizes, how many, which sites. But just to say that, well, Black women you want white men, but they don't want you. This is kind of the nanny boo boo that you kind of throw out a lot. And I just haven't seen really that be the case.
Well, madam, you would have to read the book, The Dating Divide, which I know you haven't read.
Yeah, I likely won't. I likely won't. But what I would like for Black women to do is just Black women,
madam,
get to exercising, take care of yourself so that you don't have to feel beholden to Black men who keep preaching weakness. I've seen that everything you said is victimhood.
Have you read the book, madam?
It's still victimhood.
But madam, have you read?
Right. Well, thank you. No, I haven't read that book.
Exactly. Can we move on?
And it likely won't be on my reading list, but I can look around and see that you're still complaining, Obsidian. So if these Black women are so lowly, you don't ever have to worry about.
Real quick. Lawrence with the $5 super chat. Republic Room. Do you think Obsidian looks attractive to you? Go ahead.
Why does Lawrence argue that? Lawrence, no, I'm not going to do that. No, and stop it, Lawrence.
I think JP had a question. Then I want to get Moon. Then we
I want to ask Obsidian a question.
Hey, what's going on?
Huh?
What's going on, Jay? How you feel? If they keep saying that my mic is low, does anybody have a?
Let me try to make some corrections on the back end for my part. All right. You want to do a testing real quick? Let me see.
Yeah, I mean, the number of people were saying my mic is low, so maybe
I turned it up on the back end here, so it should be good.
Okay. Right. What's going on, Jay? How you feeling, man?
What's going on, Obsidian? So when you hear this Black woman and the history that you share a lot of the same arguments. Mm-hmm. I noticed that playing this money game, playing this educational game, this power game, I think that's the white man's game. And so we lost in that. Like if they said, I was always told life is like a game of chess. And what happens when you cross over and check your opponent? You take his queen. So when you look at Republic, she don't care what anything you have to say. All this, what she gonna do is gaslight you and like blow dust up you in your face. Why? Because a lot of Black women, including the younger ones coming up, it could be my daughters as well. They have been captured by the white man. They've been reprogrammed. They has been deprogrammed from the black man's program, meaning like the Black woman's hair, the froze, the natural Black woman's face, and who out the bell. So now what you see is the white woman's wig, the white woman's face, the white woman's eyelashes, and so on and so on, right? So what I have noticed, I want to get your answer on this. Do you think it'd be best for us black men? Because it seems like playing the money game, we're not gonna get nowhere with that, especially when we're not dominating within that.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think we should create something different where we dominate in? And an example of that, when you think about the rappers, when you think about the dudes in the ghetto, they created their own. I'm gonna say we. I'm part of that community.
Mm-hmm.
We have created our own direction.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people they think negative about it. Well, I could say the other side is negative. That's not our definition. Do you think that when I see us in the ghettos, by us creating our own definition and redefine ourselves from the way we see fit, we get all the women. We more influential. We more powerful than a white man in that community. Because a lot of times black women that lives in those communities where studs and ghettos and pimp thieves, us gangbangers is at, they don't sit up here talking about they want a white man. They usually be fighting for the top of the line of the thugs, the pimps, the gangsters, the inmates, and woo out the bam. But the moment you go to the white communities where you got the black nerds, you got the black, I call them butlers. Now they got to compete with white men because that's you know what I'm saying. The white man rules over there. We rules the ghetto. We influence the world. So do you think that the black man got to opt out the white man's fight? And that's the dollar bill, the white man education, the white man dollar, and who out the band to create his own direction.
Real quick before Obsidian gets in, Lord G-Tron, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Republic Room, go eat a chitlin sandwich. You want to see a black woman do the same thing they are doing or they've been doing, failing. Go ahead, Obsidian. Then let's get mooncakes in. Go ahead.
That caught me off guard. Okay. All right. So, chicken sandwich. Okay.
You choose a different fight.
Yeah. Brother Jay Prince, not only do I agree with you, good sir, but that is why I'm here. I am the one of the co-founding fathers of the Black Manosphere Conclave, is chief brand officer and chief innovations officer. We are an organization that was created, orchestrated, funded, organized, administrated by black men for the purpose of fostering excellence in all things. We have put over 1,000 brothers through our TOU University STEM program. We have over 300 brothers now working in big tech, making six figures. We have generated over $10 million in salary since 2021. We've also been responsible for fostering 5 marriages of black men to African women from Morocco to South Africa in the past 2 years. We're at our 5th conclave in Miami in September. We launched our 5F conference for black women. Fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun. We already are having matches coming out of the 5F conference sisters getting with the Black Manosphere Conclave brothers. And in 2027, we'll be in Vegas next year. But in 2027, we will be heading to Santiago de Cali, Colombia, where I have it on good authority. By the way, Cali, Colombia, 70% Afro-Colombian. And I have it on good authority that the ladies are waiting there for us in nice, beautiful summer dresses and trays of food. So, yes, brother Jay Prince, black men must build their own hierarchical, organizational, patriarchal organizations, top down at every level. Black men orchestrating, owning, and administrating and funding their own initiatives. And the lovely ladies, they have a choice. They can either join us, or they can step aside for the ladies of the world to do so.
Go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff you was naming like the money and stuff like that. I still think that's Eurocentric. It still will be competing with the whites because we already know on every dollar of those bills, the white face is still printing on that. What I mean, like, and I respect everything you saying, right? Like for an example. I'm talking about some stuff where it'll be difficult for the white man to duplicate it and compete with it. Like when you go to the ghetto, we have our own personality. The only thing they can try to do is try to emulate it, but it's so people gonna know who you trying to emulate it when you try to practice that if you're not a black man, right? The slang, the rap, the ghetto. We teach people like from my perspective, because I really don't have these type of problems with black women from the ghetto. We teach people how to wear their clothes, sagging, baggy, don't matter, whatever we call it swag. We teach people how to eat their food, soul food. We teach people how to pimp out their rides. We teach people how to rap, sing, play basketball, and so on and so on. So we has an impact not only here in America, but we got people emulating the supposed to be the degenerates across the globe. You got people in Europe try to bang and do drill music like King Von from Chicago now and Woo Out the Bam. You got people trying to sell a little dope from the black, even though other races does it, but they do it in the fashion of the ghetto black Negro in America. So we created our own definition and our own image. No matter if it will be labeled from everybody that's not black or that's not the Negro, it will be labeled as degenerate. Making money, I understand what you're saying because you building your own independence. But how much independence is it? Because I always say to CT, I landed with this. I always say to CT, I don't care how far you try to remove yourself from the white plight, as long as you still hold on to their money, hold on to their education, hold on to their Bible, and their Eurocentric beliefs, they still have power over you because you still got to go through them to receive and gain all of that.
You make an interesting point. You know, there's a quarter zip movement. You see, I have a quarter zip sweater on among younger black men, which I have found to be a excellent development because there has been this argument that goes something like this: younger black men. I don't like the phrase YN personally. I prefer the phrase young adult or young men personally. The argument goes that young men, older men are having this schism, they having this big falling out, and all the rest of it. And that has not been my experience, sir. At the Black Manosphere Conclave, we have about roughly 20% of Conclave brothers are under the age of 30, in between 18 and 25. And I've had wonderful experiences with many of our younger men coming to me and the other elders in the Black Manosphere Conclave for advice and counsel on a whole range of topics, not just women. Matter of fact, we actually talk very little about women at the conclave. The bulk of the business is about personal development, self-improvement, technical training, self-defense, business and investing, real estate investing, crypto investing, stock market investing, and so on. You know, the passport bro, a blue book gentleman, lifestyle, etc. And we've had wonderful interactions with younger brothers. They look up to us for guidance, counsel, and advice on all matters. And they even want to emulate us, our business or business casual attire, as you see me in my office studio right now. So I think that the quarter zip movement, which has taken the world by storm and is all over the place, is a most welcome development. Many people have even suggested that they might have been influenced or inspired by the Black Manosphere Conclave. I would like to believe that that's true.
Real quick, and that's a good answer. Mooncakes, you're
Hi.
sitting. How you doing? You're sitting next to a living legend. What say you about his rhetoric?
So there was a few things. I know I came in later, so there was a few things I'm going to touch on that are kind of past. A big thing for me was when I heard him discuss preferences, or that like men's preferences are kind of overlooked, and Black women tend to have this long list that everyone considers. But if we're being completely honest, especially like socially, Black men's preferences are considered every single day. Like the idea of, I think he mentioned like body weight, skin tone, hair type, everything like that. It's very predominant in our society. Like we see it on all of our social media, we see it on TV. And I don't think it's something that should be dismissed. But as soon as like Black women say, okay, you know what, here's a list of things that I would like, it somehow becomes an issue. And I think for Black women, they're put on this, I don't want to say pedestal, but they're criticized so intently and so heavily when Black men are allowed to kind of do whatever they want to do. And I think that it's easier nowadays for Black men to push a sort of responsibility off of themselves and onto Black women. And I've said this before. I said Black men have no problem competing with Black women, but they won't compete with white men. And the reason for this is that I don't think they can, and I don't think they know how to. So it's easier for them to criticize and demonize Black women who do a lot of the work in these communities. And I'm not saying that Black men don't do any work in the communities, love Black men, but a majority of it is done by Black women. Now, if we want to talk about real life action, what happens in real life, then Black women usually get more results. But that's because they're more heavily involved in these communities. Why are they more heavily involved in these communities? That's what we should be asking. We have to consider incarceration rates, education, which we talked about before, being involved in general tends just lean towards women in general. And I think these are things that Black men don't really want to discuss. And let's be honest, you're going to make money and get views off of criticizing Black women, which is what everyone does. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Can I respond to that quickly?
Well, let Obsidian go real quick. Yeah, let Obsidian go. Obsidian?
Yes, Miss Mooncakes, I'm glad that you mentioned the point about competing against other men in the country. The Black Manosphere Conclave is predicated on just that premise. We are a Black organization, but we are global in scope, not just local or regional or even national. We make brothers that can compete anywhere in the world. We have brothers from around the world that join us from the UK, Germany, points in the Latin American society, Colombia, Brazil, Panama. We have brothers from Africa that join us, Thailand, Southeast Asia, Philippines, etc. We have brothers from around the world, and they are competitive against, let's just get right to it, the white man. We are competitive against them to such an extent that now we're starting to see our brothers from other mothers wanting to be part of the Black Manosphere Conclave. We had several of them in attendance in Miami. So we believe that Black men should be competitive on a global scale. And that is what we strive for. We strive for excellence in all things. We do not make any apology for it. We believe that a Black man can be competitive. We believe in self-improvement. We believe in a rigorous standard for excellence. And we have produced results with no funding from the federal government, nonprofit, or corporate sponsorship. We are completely 100% autonomous, and we are self-funding and self-sustaining. Again, 100% Black owned, operated, and funded by Black men for Black men at every level of organization.
So
go ahead, Mooncakes.
So I wouldn't take anything away from that. I think that's a good thing. Like I've always said, pushing education, fitness, health, investing, everything like that. That's amazing. But I guess my question would be, if that's the case and you're producing these results, um, are we seeing higher rates of Black men going to college, attending post-secondary? Are we seeing an increase in how much they're making per year? And when I talk about how much they're making, I don't really want to talk about like forex trading or all day banking. I want to talk about like real results that they are moving up the scale in comparison to white men specifically. And then I would also ask you, what would be the point then of criticizing the wants and needs of Black women? Then if you want Black men to have such high standards, wouldn't you also want Black women to have such high standards?
We do. That's the reason why we have the 5F conference, fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun. We do have a very rigorous admittance policy for the lovely ladies to join in. We do not need their money, for example. We have a very small token fee, but we really don't need their money. Their real currency is in their ability to be a competitive woman to very highly competitive men. With regard to our STEM training is on par with some of the best engineering schools in the country. We're able to offer it at pennies on a dollar because we do not incur the same type of costs that the traditional engineering school would incur: bricks and mortar, administrative costs, etc. The average starting salary of a brother coming out of Theo University STEM program is about 150K a year. That puts our brothers in the top, not 10%, but more like the top 5% of male money earners in the United States of any color, which means that they're in the top 1% on the planet, on planet Earth. With regard to, if you're doing all these wonderful things, and we have the receipts. If we're doing all these wonderful things in the area of STEM, we're not doing Forex trading or anything like that. We're talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. We crushed our inaugural goal starting in 2021, a goal of getting 300 black men into the STEM pipeline, making salaries in excess of $120,000 a year to start. We met that goal in 4 years as of our conclave at the Houston Four Seasons last year. With regard to why do we critique black women? If we're doing all these wonderful things, there is a view, Miss Mooncakes and others, that hold a view of men in general, black men in particular, that goes something like this: we are simple-minded creatures who can only handle one task at a time. Something similar to Gigantor. When I was a kid growing up, there was a cartoon called Gigantor, and he was a gigantic robot, and he couldn't do too many complex things. He would even scratch his head sometimes. The idea that black men are Gigantor is the height of sexism. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can become the best versions of yourself and still air your critiques of black female behavior. The two are not mutually exclusive. We do both excellently.
May I ask Mooncakes a question right quick? So Mooncakes, you say that we need to get more educated and stuff like that, and black women getting all this criticism. One, as far as with the educating part, is that I know you have seen black men that comes on these platforms who have voiced their opinions about black women. They are extremely educated, and guess what they are arguing? Black women don't want them. So trying to teach black men to become undesirable is, I think, it would be kind of backwards and pointless. And the point that you said, see, this is why I like having conversations with actual black women. Like, you from a different country, from Canada.
I'm a black woman, but okay.
And you're not even a black woman at that. I don't see no black woman on here but Republic.
I'm a black woman, but okay, JP.
Hold on. The criticism that black women has been given is, it's a return. Before we had social media, we had people like Ricky Lake, Montel Jordan, and Wu Out the Bam. Black men didn't have a voice. It was black women going on these platforms and saying, these social media, saying that black men is deadbeats, black men is abusive, black men are criminals. They left them for dead. They ran out the house. They told our story, and we didn't get the chance to even defend ourselves, right? So the world just took in what those black women were saying and labeled it as fact. But guess what? We are the kids that those women was given to from our daddies, was robbed from our fathers. And by me growing up in these communities, I have witnessed that black women never was the victim. Black women are the true villains of the reason why us black men today that grew up from a single mother community cannot lead, blame, Wu Out the Bam, right? Why? Because we learned it from our mamas. The black community is a matriarchy. The woman made the last say so. It was the woman. And if you never lived in those environments, you can't gaslight us black men to say that we need to stop voicing of what we experienced and what we have seen every day for the past 50 years. It was the black woman. The reason why we got a lot of violence is not in those communities, Mooncakes, where black men is very fluent, going to school, making money. It's from the communities where the government told the black man that the best interest of that child is to be with the mother. That's where you're going to got all the black men that's dying at. That's where you got all the black men that's selling dope at. That's where you got all the black men that's toting guns. That's where all the black men is going to prison at. Black women will start off with 5 kids, 3 boys and 2 girls. 3 of them dead. The 2 girls pregnant at 14, and she never leave that community. You cannot tell me that, one, you don't live in America. You never lived in these hoods. I was born in it. I was raised in it. I got stabbed in it. I got shot in it. I got 6 cousins that's dead in it. My auntie, my black cousin, Trail, wanted to be a basketball player. He was cold, better than Iverson to me. I played with him. His mama called him gay, so what he ended up doing? He chose the streets. He in and out of prison. His little brother got killed. You cannot gaslight us black men, especially when you don't live it. It was the black woman the reason why I say I criticize. They are. I'm gonna land it with this. I criticize black women because black women chose to be the leaders. She said that I'm gonna be your mama and your daddy. So how we turned out, you are fully responsible. The same way I got all my daughters, when they turn out bad, I'm fully responsible.
Different.
Sorry about the long.
No, it's it's Obsidian's the guest, so.
Sorry, Obsidian.
No, you good. Boo can't see that. Miss Oshun, what's up, Miss Oshun? You guys have anything to say?
Yes, because I mean, if he could be responsible for his children, and he's a male and a father, how come the other men couldn't be responsible for their children? And you talk all this game. You literally talked about how your father left you. You give more.
Do you have a question for Obsidian? No offense. It's about Obsidian today. It's Rush invited him, so it's no offense to you, Jay. It's just you don't want to waste Obsidian's time. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Hi, Obsidian. How you doing?
Hello.
I'm glad that you were able to make it. Since you've started on this path and journey and trying to give black men a voice, what have you seen some of their biggest complaints, and how do you see them improving?
Cash for Hustles, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. JP on fire today. It happens every once in a while. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Obsidian. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. There are a number of things that black men seem to be concerned about in my 10 years of working with black men. 5 in particular at the Black Manosphere Conclave. Black men are very concerned, and speaking of being dads and fathers, black men are very concerned about being good fathers to their children. We know this because we do exit surveys every year. Every year that we have a conclave, immediately thereafter, we conduct our exit survey. And our exit survey from last year's conclave indicates that one of the big concerns that black men have is about being good fathers to their children. You probably are aware of this, or maybe not, that the CDC and the United States Census and the New York Times, through rigorous investigation, has found that black dads are the best dads of all. Spending the most time with their children, dressing them, bathing them, reading to them, and so on, more than any other cohort of men in the United States. And we do realize that, many single mother-led homes and broken homes in Black America is an issue. A lot of black men in the Black Manosphere Conclave, having small c conservative values, are very concerned about being good fathers and husbands. Some 80% of black men, conclave brothers, I call them, some 80% of conclave brothers have indicated a desire to be married or in a long-standing publicly acknowledged relationship. So that's a major concern for a lot of brothers. A lot of brothers are very concerned about being good dads. Of course, a lot of brothers are concerned about upskilling themselves to meet the demands of a 21st century, starting first and foremost in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. That is the tentpole of the Black Manosphere Conclave. And there are other concerns as well. The popular notion that black men are really concerned about black women does have merit, but it's not the only thing that black men are concerned about. At the Black Manosphere Conclave itself, when we close the doors in the grand ballroom, we actually talk shop about everything except black women. With very little discussion at the conclave is about black women themselves. Very little.
May I address that study, CT?
Sure.
Obsidian, again, this is what I think you do some of these men a disservice, because for years you all have been saying this, and had you all really bothered to read it and obviously you all don't analyze this, analyze data very well. That saying that this was a self-study. So he's talking about rigorous. This was when you answer the question. So they ask you a question. I don't know how long it took place, but it wasn't a very long length of time that it took place. It had a certain amount of men in it. Men are being asked questions. So self-surveys are the least reliable surveys because people it's emotional. I would almost say they almost go in the opposite direction. So in the methodology, it states the results are not generalizable. So that Black men are the most involved fathers. Actually, it's not true. You would see this bear out in the Black community because if you're the most involved, I would hate to see what the most not the like who what it looks like if you're not involved. Everyone knows that that's not true. We can talk about statistics, outcomes. No, that's not the truth. And this is what people are like filling out a Scantron. Basically, that's what that is. So no, those were not generalizable.
Well, can I respond to that? I would like to ask you a question, Republic Tea Room, because I don't deny that that surveys, among the different ways that sociologists and researchers can get information on a particular phenomena, surveys is the weakest form of evidence. I don't disagree with you on that. So I would like to ask you, what would be a better way to do it? Who do you think we should ask? If we don't, since we shouldn't ask Black men dads themselves, what do they think of their parenting? Who should we ask to assess Black male parenting, in your opinion?
Oh, statistics, records, the outcomes.
Are you eating a turkey sandwich? By the way, you eating a turkey sandwich?
No, I'm sampling something I'm cooking. Sorry, that was so rude of me. Okay, but yeah, I hate that. That is real rude. I shouldn't have been. So, Obsidian, this is what. Before you, let me just answer this. Before you ask me that, the fact is, you were hoping that someone up here didn't know that self-survey. It obviously it was just that. It was not some like scientific research and they found this to be true because you didn't go to the methodology. I've noticed that lots of things that you all have spouted in this sector, it's been untrue, but you understand that it brings up an emotion and a kind of a feeling in these Black men who you are leading that it's like look, we are the best, yet it's the Black woman's fault. Yet I don't know how these men are so involved, but we have the single mother epidemic and all these sons shooting guns and and murk at each other. So that's and I also think that JP's made some comments. I'm surprised I guess you didn't really address them on a lot of levels. Did you hear what JP said about what he thinks that what manhood looks like, I guess, in the hood, or what it should look like, and we really shouldn't look at what the white man is doing or what, because there are standards of manhood all across the world, and we know that works when it's put in practice, like healthy masculinity. So would you address what JP was talking about?
No,
thank you. And I gotta go. Appreciate y'all.
No, I would not address what JP had to say. He is his own man and he has his own views and he's entitled to his own views. They do not require my reinterpretation or imprimatur or permission or approval. And I would say to you, madam, that if you have an issue with or questions with regard to what the brother Jay Prince said, I would direct you to go and ask him yourself. Thank you very much.
Mooncake, so you're about to say something real quick?
I was. So from before JP said what he said, I was talking to Obsidian about a few things, and once again, chaotic, stop me if you think I'm taking it a step too far. And like I said, I do respect what Obsidian's doing. I do think there should be spaces for men only. I do not have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the advancement of men in particular, especially men of color. Not a problem. But my concern is when he was talking about the school or the university, and this is not to be rude, I highly doubt it's accredited. I'm not saying that they can't take courses, which could lead them into maybe a software career, which anyone can do by going on YouTube or doing it themselves. But I guess my question would be, what is the membership fee to be in what I would consider a private men's club? Something comparable to an Andrew Tate style. I'm not really hearing a difference between what you're doing and what Andrew Tate is doing. Now, a lot of that you said that most of these guys are making 150,000. This is all obviously self-reported. There is no accreditation, so there are no governing bodies that can prove anything that you're saying. I'm not saying there can't be a few men who are doing these things, but I highly doubt it is a significant amount. It sounds mostly like a private men's club where you can kind of convince these men into an ideology that you're able to push and make money from. And once again, I'm sorry if this does come across as rude, but that is how it is coming across. And you're doing it through the perversion, I would say, of criticizing Black women, while also, I think, affecting Black men in a negative manner.
Real quick, let me read these super chats real quick. Miguel, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I am so dumb. I thought Black men were the same as any other human male on the planet. I have lots to learn. And also, Kabuta with the $2 super chat. Wait, is this Mooncake the communist? She is a communist. Obsidian, real quick, are you able to remember her question and then answer two questions? Because I know Oshun, she's been patiently waiting. Go ahead, Oshun.
Hey everybody. Well, thank you for having me on. I'm sorry for being late coming in from work. I was trying to listen to some of the conversation before I came up, and I assumed that the question was about women in men's spaces. So I see
mic up.
I already turned it up. I turned it up.
Okay.
Yep,
women in men's spaces. And when I was first asked this question, I seen it. My response was, there are times when women derail men's plight simply by being present. There's a time and place for everything, and because of the dynamics between men and women, that happens, and that's nobody's fault. That's just the nature of things. So sometimes on panels, depending on the conversation, I can see where having women present is not helpful to men learning or taking something meaningful away from the conversation. And then at other times when I see like an all male panel and they're speaking about something that is obviously a two-part conversation and it's just men, sometimes that can be a little, I guess, too streamlined. But I do think more so these conversations, these panel conversations, even about dating amongst men, should be just men. I think there's space for women and men, let's say both of them coming together, but generally I do see the problem with women being in these spaces on panels specifically, just in the way sometimes men act when women are on panels, how they act in the chat. Sometimes they can't focus on like what Obsidian was saying about speaking about higher learning when there's women present often. I think years ago, someone had made a statement when I was listening to a panel, and they said that when they it was a Black man, and he said when he talks about education and, like Obsidian was speaking about these higher tech conversations, they don't get as much engagement versus when they have women on the panel. And there is this hyper discussion about, lust, dating, sexuality, things like that. Obviously, a lot of men are tuned in. And he was somewhat disappointed that that's what the issue was, given the state of the Black community. So I definitely do agree with the sentiment that most often women shouldn't be on some of these panels. Not all, so I'm not saying we don't have a place, okay? But most of the time I have noticed that. I did have, to Obsidian, I just want to say that I've heard a lot of negativity about you. I've heard some positivity about you. But I will say, listening to you right now, I'm pretty proud of what you're doing. And I don't think, unlike maybe some other sentiments, that your job here is to change the world or change the entire Black race of men through your program. Change starts with one person, but change sometimes can take centuries for a whole continent to change. So I'm I'm pretty glad that you're doing that, and I don't have any questions about that per se. But I did have a question to Mooncakes. You said that, in your opinion, Black men are not keeping up with white men specifically. I wanted to know why white men, as opposed to, let's say, Chinese men.
I would say white men typically, I mean, they're one of the largest populations in America, so that's why I use them as a reference. It's very Chinese men are like a minority, so for me, it wouldn't make sense to use them. But white men are like their direct counterpart. So when it comes to any type of what's the word I would use? Any type of not game work. I'm trying to remember the word I want to use, but I can't remember. I just think they are in direct competition with white men, and that's what it should be. So to me, that would make the most sense. We can compare them to Chinese men, who typically still do better, but I think it would make more sense to compare them to the majority.
I would like to respond if I could
to the first question, because I would like to frame it for you a certain way, because I want to ask you too, Obsidian. Mooncakes, no offense, is a young woman. Why does she believe that there needs to be a governing body or an accreditation over what you are doing? Because that was the question, right? Mm. Obsidian?
Yeah, I want to lot to unpack here. So our Chief Technology Officer, Theo Waff, is a graduate of the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. He holds multiple degrees, computer science degrees, foreign.
I'm sorry, I got to I'm sorry, my apologies. D4 says, for the $20 super chat, sponsor for the next show, how to lay stone for a patio. You'd see 0 women on that panel, no offense. Republic Room for the $10 super chat says, men's plight. Why are Black men still trying to figure out manhood? Echo chambers haven't proven successful for Black men. Why aren't Black men able to focus? Miss Oshun, ... Other men can do it. BD says, this isn't the 80s. We are not on drugs. We take care of our kids. Cashflow Hustle says, Mooncakes, respectfully, adult education doesn't require accreditation. Certain billionaires didn't or did not attend college. Go ahead, Obsidian. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to respond to the statement. So starting over again, our Chief Technology Officer, Senior Cybersecurity Analyst, Theo Waff, is a graduate of the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. If you look up the U.S. News and World Report, best engineering schools in the United States, it currently holds a rating. I want to say it's in the top 10. It's a perennial top 10 engineering school. Right now, as of 2025, I think it's either number 7 or number 9th, I believe, MIT being number 1. The Black Manosphere Conclave's Theo University is not accredited. However, its chief instructor has excellent bona fides. He has decades of experience in cybersecurity, etc. He's currently teaching that, as well as a number of other things, as well as an AI course, where salaries are insane. The sheer amount of money in this thing is enough to make you faint. I've done it several times. And he has done a masterful job at training Black men from all walks of life and ages to get very lucrative jobs in the big tech sector. And they've done very well for themselves. I would invite you, Miss Mooncakes, to come on out to the Black Manosphere Conclave in Las Vegas in September of 2026, so you can see for yourself exactly what goes on there, and you can talk directly to our conclave brothers. You can interview them as much as you like, and you can hear directly from them what they have to say about the conclave, the training they receive, and the money that they make.
How much? So, like, how much is is it just like a free school? Like, is it just like you can just sign up, you join, they get lessons?
Absolutely not. I'm glad you asked that. This is not a for-profit. This is not a non-profit operation. We're not here to save the whales. This is very much a private enterprise for-profit enterprise predicated on the premise that we can help Black men become the best versions of themselves across the board and make a shit ton of money doing it at the same time. We do charge a premium because we offer premium experiences. Our conclave last year was held at Houston's Four Seasons. Our conclave this year, back in September, was held at the Hyatt Regency, which is humongous. It's got a convention center inside the hotel, so it's huge. It's humongous. We tend to post up at 4- and 5-star luxury hotel resort complexes for our annual conclaves. It is a premium price, but we pride ourselves on offering premium experiences for our conclave brothers and top-notch instruction, not just with regard to STEM, but across the board. By the way, people that want to know more about the conclave and the Black Manosphere, moreover, can hit us up on our website, blackmanosphere.com. Very easy to remember, blackmanosphere.com. You can see everything for yourself right there.
Obsidian, can I ask you a question?
CD says for the $10 super chat, why is the focus always on how well Black men compete, but never on how Black women compete?
I was just going to ask.
That is why Kevin Samuels made Black women glitch. He asked, how well do Black women compete versus their non-Black female counterparts, and they don't.
That was one of the questions I was about to ask, because it's always focused. Obsidian, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I would just like to.
So yeah, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Why do we always got to focus on Black men competing? Because it seemed like what it sounds like when you're hearing them from the Republic and Moon case, mainly people that are not really Black, but who are the men, right? There's always hyper focus on Black men competing, but it's never focused on Black women being better mothers, better wives, better women in general. So the question I want to ask you, when Republic Room try to debunk from this Black study, right, this Black male study, how come in order for us to receive information, well, in order for Black women to receive information, she only want to receive it from the men who have subjugated not only Black men, but Black women and the children. So why is it every time we have these conversations, Black women uses and weaponize people that's not even Black men or have not even lived the experience with Black women versus like how we experience Black women the way we do? Why is they willing to take our experiences and what's real for us Black people from people that's not even Black, that's already had ill intentions of Black people, especially Black men? Do you think that these people is always gonna tell a narrative of, and put us Black men in a light that is just not gonna be so rewarding like how they do Superman and these white people? These men is good men and they the God of love, they so powerful, they so great. Do you think that they gonna those white men that creates the narrative of our story, why do Black women want to sell our fucking story from a non-Black man? Why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm glad you asked that question, Jay Prince. And to take it back to the earlier point with Miss Mooncakes, etc. Black women see white men as the standard bearer of masculinity in the United States. Full stop. And they measure Black men against that. Now, what I say to that is this. That is not something that can be insurmountable. Again, the Black Manosphere Conclave, there used to be a outfit called the 21 Convention. Some of you may have heard of it. It was headed up by a gentleman by the name of Anthony Dream Johnson out of Florida. And they have been doing it for quite some time. They are no longer in existence. And we have emerged as the premier male event in the country that just happens to be Black. Like I said, we now have white men wanting to join the Black Manosphere Conclave, and they can. Men of other races can join it, but on the proviso that they know that they are coming into a black organization where the interest and purview is black men. That they can join it with that proviso. These gentlemen stay very quiet and very low key, and they just kind of keep their head down and do their work. But yeah, I mean, the Black Manosphere Conclave. Our thing is we say bring it on. To the ladies out there who say, like a Crystalline Carrison, Miss Pink Pill, who says, I'm looking for the best man for the job. Our response is bring it on. We will beat and exceed anything any other, including white men, do. And meanwhile, while they have a hand on the wheel and a thumb on the scale, we were able to do it against all odds. When we say that we are the best of men and that we are the elite, we're not just talking shit. That's a fact. Okay.
Last question I got to ask you, Obsidian, before other people get on. Do you think, knowing the dynamics between black men and black women, and knowing the systems that's basically creating black women to be against them, and also it's not just the system, non-black people who have sided with, who are just using black women and pump their head up with a bunch of madness to hate black men train. Like, it's always biracial or white people always trying to tell black women that they is wrong. They need to date out. They need to go to other places. These not even really black women who's doing this. But do you, knowing that the dynamics and that this black woman gonna grow up and betray you, black man, and knowing how these black women have shown black men that they are your enemy, passed down from the white man, as a black man, because Obsidian, am I wrong if I state that I don't think us black men should no longer want to create with our seed a black woman, because it served us no purpose. Once upon a time, black men created black men and black women. Why? Because to make the black man and the black race stronger. But since the black women would grow up and betray the black man and can try to use the white man to leverage our conquerors over us, why should we? I know you're gonna be politically correct. I don't know. I don't know like that. But why should we black men continue to reproduce our enemy?
That's a good question. There is no doubt, undoubtedly, a great deal of tension between black men and black women in the United States. Nobody here needs me to recount and count the ways on that. Would it surprise you to know, my brothers, that per our exit survey data, that some 80% of Conclave brothers are active passport holders? Half of that number travels outside of the country about half a dozen times a year. We, again, like I said earlier, 5 marriages have come out of the Black Manosphere Conclave thus far, all of them to black women on the African continent. Black men are interested in black women. We desperately want to make it work with American black women. They are increasingly recalcitrant and increasingly stubborn to make that happen. The wifely quality of black women in the United States has greatly diminished. And so many black men have resolved, with great regret, I talked to many brothers that are almost in tears about it, have resolved to head elsewhere for mates. They desire to have marriage. They desire to have children and families. And so they go to the Afro diaspora, if you will. Many of them go as far as the Africa. Taking a flight to Florida to Africa is no small feat. It's expensive, number one, and number two, you're looking at spending basically the better part of an entire day on an airplane to get all the way to Africa. These brothers really want black women. This idea that brothers that go offshore and they're getting with non-black women, that's a small minority of black men who do that. The vast majority of black men, when they leave the country, they go into the Dominican Republic, they're going to Cuba, they're going to Panama, they're going to Colombia, they're going to Brazil. Brazil has 200 million population, literally half is Afro-Brazilian.
Now wait a minute. Now Obsidian. Now Mooncase was shaking her head. Mooncase, you're shaking your head. Where do these men go? Do they go to Switzerland?
Because yeah, like can I say something? This is the part that always gets me, is that now we have the promotion of passport bros. And for me that's even sadder, because if you live in a country, I think America is at like what, 400 million people, where you are unable to find one woman that can be what you maybe want: submissive, docile, caring, loving. You have to travel to a much poorer country. A lot of them that you were naming have a lot of deep poverty issues, where women tend to accept more because of those poverty issues. CT, they're not going to Switzerland. They're not going to Denmark. They're not going to Finland. And the reason they're not going to these places, I can give other countries, is because they can't obtain these women. Because these women are not going to put up with some of the stuff that the women in these more poorer countries, poverty-ridden countries, have to deal with. And that speaks to the men themselves, if I'm being completely honest. They aren't at a stage where they can get probably American women, or they're struggling in some sort of way. And that's not being worked on. We're just sending them out to say, go find a poor woman in another country that will put up with your BS. Well, no, I'm sorry, it's a little shameful.
It's interesting. It's interesting that she would say that, because number one, if we're going to talk about Black women that are destitute or in dire straits, I seem to recall that this country just ended the longest government shutdown in its entire multi-century history, wherein Black women could be seen on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and Elon Musk's Twitter, now known as X, threatening to storm the Bastille that was Kroger's and Walmart and Kmart, to fill their shopping carts with food, and warn the staff that if you intervene, you will be shot, you will be hurt, you will be stabbed, you will be beaten up, etc. I recall watching videos on TikTok of Black women sitting in their cars and reaching into their big pocketbook bags, pulling out entire steaks, ribs, salad dressing, and other food items that they had shoplifted, that is to say, stolen from the store as a protest for not getting their EBT on time. I seem to recall, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that there were Black women over the course of that government shutdown who were doing all manner of caterwauling and flopping all over the fainting couch with their tales of woe, their threats, etc. The crack R&D department, of the Black Manosphere Conclave, one of my conclave brothers, pride of Wayne State University, STEM brother, featured in the Wall Street Journal last year for his numerous real estate holdings in the Detroit area, did an impact study and found that every time a brother files a DS-11 form with the U.S. State Department and receives his passport, a Black woman somewhere in Black America is taking a $30,000 a year hit year on year. There are only 4 states in the union wherein Black women earn on average $45,000 or more, and one of those isn't even his state, it's Washington, D.C. Only 4 states in the union where Black women make over $45,000 a year. So if we're going to talk about the idea that Black men cannot compete with American women or Switzerland women or Swiss women or Swedish women. By the way, those are the most feminist places on planet Earth, and things are not going well there. The Swedish man has been outsourcing women of Thai background for decades in Sweden. I happen to know a gentleman in Sweden. I had him on their show earlier this year. He gave me the whole rundown on that. Moreover, Black American women have been documented surveilling passport bros in other areas in Colombia, in Brazil, and in the Dominican Republic, bringing back their reports, finding out where they go, where they frequent, who they're meeting on the tarmac, what bars they're going to. Some American women are even trying and attempting to pass themselves off as locals so they can get drinks bought for them and all the rest of it. This is all a matter of public record. All over on TikTok, because Black women love putting their business all over on TikTok. It's easy to see. Anybody can look it up for themselves. The idea that Black men cannot cut it in the United States with the American Black woman because he doesn't have the means, or because they got to go over there and get somebody from a destitute third world country and all the rest of it, is laughable, given the fact that Black women in the United States carry the highest school debt, on average of $40,000 a year. Black women are the main ones to be evicted from both their homes and apartments. Black women are the main ones to be having mortgages underwater. Black women are the main ones that have the highest consumer debt, etc. So I find that statement very interesting, when the truth of the matter is that many Black men have a desire for a more traditional Black woman that adheres to what I call a mother, father, sister format, where the man of the house is more of a patriarch in a traditional sense of the word, that she doesn't place all her emphasis on I'm a PhD, etc. at all. So again, Miss Mooncakes, I would invite you to come to the conclave in Vegas and see for yourself. And by the way, while you're there, you can talk to the lovely ladies who are at the 5F conference. We have women that bring their daughters to the conference. Black women in the United States bringing their daughters, like 4 and 5 daughters, to the Black Manosphere conclave. I invite you to come out and see it for yourself.
Let me read these super chats real quick before, and then I'm going to get American Man, and he's been patiently waiting. Republic, and I know you want to give your rebuttal, Mooncase. Republic Room with the $5 super chat. Did he see JP's video about EBT? Obsidian, a Black woman's earnings are not your issue. Other men have dominated you. That's not a Black woman's problem. You want
to? May I respond to that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, what I would say is that Black men, if they're so dominated by other men, and what you really mean is the white man, if they're so dominated, why weren't they on TikTok, pulling out various food items from under their jacket? Why weren't they, bemoaning the EBT not coming on time? Why weren't they on the camera with threats of storming the Kmart, storming the Kroger, storming the Publix, storming the Walmart, storming the Target, and threatening staff not to intervene as they stole all kinds of food? Why weren't they doing that, madam?
Blue Baggers with the $5 super chat. Mooncakes, I've lived in Lucerne and London. Salute to you, Davey, with the $2 super chat. CT, please play JP's video begging for food stamps. But you already heard what Obsidian said, man. Obsidian said, hey, man, each man, and I'm like that too, lives their own lives, man. So, yeah, I'm in that same category.
Obsidian. Okay.
I got to run.
Cash Flow Hustles with the $5. I'm sorry, Obsidian, what you say?
I say I got about another 10 minutes, and I got another show I got to get ready for here on YouTube. It's funny. I get banned off of YouTube, and then I get a rush of people that want me to come on YouTube and be on their shows like I'm doing right now. So it's almost like I never left. By the way, something else too. I'm born on December 2nd. Did you know that Andrew Tate, who's also been banned from YouTube, is born on December 1st, and Tommy Sotomayor, who's also been banned from YouTube, are born on December 11th. So we all are born in December. We're all Sagittarians, and we're all kind of banned. We're like telling the truth.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Cash Flow Hustle with the $5 super chat says, you Western women stop complaining about foreign women and out compete your competition. G-Tron with the $5 super chat. Wrong again, Mooncakes. We don't go to Europe because European women are Western. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It's about decency, you femturd. Blue Baggins with the $10 super chat. Mooncakes knows shit. I've lived in Europe for plenty of years, and there are plenty of Black passport bros here. It's not that we can't get American women. It's that we don't want you bitches. CD says, if anything, as a Black man, we compete better versus white men, then black women do white women. If non-black women like black men more than non-black men like black women, doesn't that suggest we must be out competing better than black women? American man, you want to ask Obsidian a question before he leaves?
Can I respond after? Sorry, CT.
Yeah, if he got the time, yeah.
Obsidian,
yeah.
Nice to be on a panel with you again. I was on your panel when you had Pearl on and the Nignogs crashed out and was going all crazy a couple of years ago. So mooncakes, right? Because I don't like. I agree with what Obsidian says because I'm a man's man. Mooncakes said some things. She said black men don't go to Europe because they can't obtain them. Most of the reason why a lot of these weak black men don't go to Europe is because they believe in the racism grift that was fed to them by liberal white women and liberal black women. That's why black men don't go to Europe.
Yeah.
Now I recently, and CT, as you know, I'm with a black woman and have a black family, love my black children. I recently was going through the airport, and as I was going through TSA, there was she looked to be a Eastern European, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, beautiful white woman. As she was going through, she continued to look me in my eyes. Anyway, nonetheless, right? Mooncakes, you also said that black men are in competition with black women.
Yes.
There's never been a time in my life where I looked at any woman, not a single woman, and thought, there's competition here. Let's see what's happening. I've never once in my life viewed that. That would be like me viewing my 11-year-old daughter as competition. It's absolutely ridiculous. No real black man would ever look at a black woman or a woman or any woman, or no real man would ever look at any woman and think there's competition here. I think that rhetoric is made up in you guys' head because you guys have decided that black men are some sort of competition to you guys. But black men, by and large, there's no man or black man that I've ever met that was like, yeah, I got to outdo that chick over there. No, like it just doesn't come to mind. It's not a thing that comes to mind. It's impossible. I understand you may want to believe that is how it works, but that is not what is happening. We largely ignore you people, and we go for the big fish.
Before you respond, mooncakes, I'm sitting there. I don't know how much time you have left, but
yeah, I have time for one more question.
Okay. Anybody with Obsidian, and then
like Obsidian to respond to what I said about the competition thing.
I don't have any response. I think you are very straightforward in what you said, and like you said, you're a man's man. You said what you said. I have no response.
I'd love to respond.
What was it? I want
to give Obsidian before you go.
I'd love to respond to both of them, but I mean, okay, JP, I don't want
to. So, Obsidian, I think I kind of know how you're gonna think about it, because I compete with black women, and the reason why I say that I compete with black women, because like I did go viral on World Star for getting food stamps, because if they're gonna say that we are not like if we are not like our grandmamas, and we want to be equal, and we just as equals as a man. So what I decided to do is, since they always want to challenge men and challenge us, woo out the bam, so I took off my pants and let them put it, right? So now I got both of my baby mamas on child support. I got both of my baby mamas. I get to call the police, they probation officer, just like they did us. So I'm putting them in the same position that they have been putting black men in and I gaslight them too. I put them through so much hell and say, well, it's your fault. You wasn't there. So, because Obsidian, I truly believe that in order to teach a bully, you got to give them that same energy. So black women be sitting up here gaslighting us black men when we talk about this stuff. Why? Because they never experienced the type of responsibilities that us black men have. I'm going to let these black men go out there and try to be the man of the year. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take these pants off, let these women go out there and ram, and let them scrape up their knuckles, let them go to jail, let them go to prison for child support that I'm going to put my baby mama in come Monday to call the police on her because she haven't paid in 5 months. That's a class I felony where I come from. So I'm doing the same type of stuff. And I know people going to say, oh, that's not manly. Well, we get the standard of manly from white folks, right? And they keep trying to hold us to a standard from yesteryears, and they not being the standard of yesteryears. Since they update and since they upgrade to the modern time, I'm upgrading to the modern time. If it's equal, it's going to be equal on both ends. So I shouldn't get called less of a man because I want to stay at home with the kids, which I am raising all of my kids by myself. And these women, my baby mama's got felonies. She on probation. She on child support. I just got approved for W-2 checks. I'm on the wait list for Section 8. I got all the kids back there. We just got our EBT hit just this morning. I'm doing, and it feels good, Obsidian. I ain't gonna lie to you. It feels good to watch a black woman suffer the pain that black men been suffering for 50 years, and I'm gonna gaslight them. It feels wonderful to watch a black woman suffer the same stuff that they gaslight us black men for. What do you think about that, Obsidian?
Well, that was interesting. And JP, you sound like you definitely have your own worldview and have your views and ideas. And I want to thank my man Rush of the Labuto Network and Chaos Truth for having me on this evening. And again, Miss Mooncakes and anyone else that would like to check us out, we'll be in Las Vegas for the 6th annual Black Manosphere Conclave in Las Vegas, September 2026. For tickets and info, www.blackmanosphere.com. And thank you all, and good night and good luck.
Obsidian, good night, man. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me read these super chats. Thank you so much, Obsidian.